Wait. Hello, 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 and I am your host, Abanada, and with.
Azrael, the co-host.
And this is a manga podcast. Yeah, man. And, we're missing somebody, but because, missing one person.
The little Babby's gone.
Babby's a
But
bitch.
we took, for class, we decided to just take an accurate representation of him.
The Babby is a
And
bitch. The Babby is a
Babby is.
bitch. So this has been the sort of thing we've been talking about. It's, we're going to be reviewing, manga each week. This week happens to be Pandora Hearts, which you can see in the middle of the screen. Fucking thing that says Pandora fucking Hearts. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe we're.
it's pretty.
I mean,
It's pretty, self-explanatory.
so how do you feel about
We
Naruto?
did
But
yeah. I mean,
But,
Gantz though, right, guys?
that's
Gantz, come on.
But no, in all seriousness though, we are just talking about the manga, how are we thoughts about it, review, sort of what's happening. We have read, Azrael has read up to chapter 20.
20.
20.
We read chapters 1 through 20 for this podcast.
I have read
Harrison
the entire
read
series.
past that because he's a dick.
Because
So-
I can't stop reading. That's how it goes. You know me.
Well,
I read
you know what?
everything.
Next
I read
month you
good or
actually
bad.
have to stop for it.
So
So he is going to refrain from being that guy who says, "Well, this happened," or like it gets better later. Don't
mean,
do that shit.
it
Just
does
act
get
like you read
it
the
does get
chapter.
really fucking good later. Like shit gets
Okay, but how about we keep that out of the podcast?
Yeah, no
part.
spoilers. No after chapter 20 spoilers.
Yeah. So we're keeping it all up to chapter 20, and that'll be good.
Yeah, so there might be some spoilers, but we'll when we start talking about that stuff, I will sort of heads up you.
We'll let you know when spoilers are coming up.
Correct.
First, I will go with the spoiler-free description of the series,
Right.
which I totally have open right now, guys.
Yes.
Um,
So
so Pandora Hearts shows us a world. Oh, it won't expand. Pandora Hearts shows us a world filled with fate, friendship, surreal, and struggle. Pandora Hearts begins with a 15-year-old Oz Vesalius. He undergoes a coming-of-age ceremony as... Okay, so spoilers past this point in the description, I guess.
like the first chapter.
Yeah, this is the first chapter, spoilers. He undergoes a coming-of-age ceremony as the heir to his prestigious family. One day, however, he's attacked by a group of mysterious people in red cloaks, and they tell him that his very existence is a sin, and for that he must be cast into the prison of the abyss.
Now, for a little bit
Pandora
more
Hearts.
accurate description of the series, it is a Alice in Wonderland, very very heavily influenced by Alice in Wonderland. A lot of things are like character names. There are these things called chains, which give the abilities powers, give the different characters different abilities, and every single one of them is from Alice in Wonderland. Every single one. Like the
Well,
Jabberwocky
the
shows
main
up.
ones.
No, every single one. No, seriously, every single one later on is actually
Not-
yeah.
Not like the random chains for the
Oh,
little kid, dude.
Well, okay, not like the characters, the ones that are named. Every single one that's
They are
named
named.
is from they don't name hers.
Anyway.
They don't
We,
name hers,
But yeah, it's I'll just give you the genres of it. It's an action adventure, comedy, drama, fantasy, horror, mystery, shonen.
It's not really
Not
that horror.
shown.
It does have some really dark moments, like some which
Yeah.
you haven't even seen something really just like, okay, that was just fucking insane. Like
But yeah,
we have some
We'll-
like some
we'll-
Silent Hill shit shows.
we'll stop
Just-
talking about stuff besides
No,
chapter
I'm not,
20.
Well, this is not.
like
I'm
you
not
just
telling
said.
you event. Okay, that's not an event. That's just like I'm saying. Some Silent Hill darkness shows up in the series. That's not a spoiler.
It's supernatural and tragedy. Just it's good.
But yeah, it is very.
we'll start with-
It has a lot of comedy, a little bit to it. I would say.
Out of place comedy at some points.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, I would say it's a very. It's comedic series. I would say more than you know. I would say it's a horror series or even an action series. I would say it's more focused on comedy. At least early on. It does start to.
yeah,
It does start to ramp up the action, and when I say ramp up the action, I mean it gets. I would say chapter 20 really starts to. It still keeps the comedic parts, but it gets like there's some really sad moments, some really kind of scary moments, some Silent Hill sort of things, and like I say, it's pretty good. It's pretty good overall.
yeah. It was published in Monthly G Fantasy, so
and it's still being published because it's
it's
not over
kind of
yet.
shown.
It's
It's it's
it's
kind of shonen, but it's not really. It's
it
just
doesn't
shonen enough to make it into a shonen monthly
it
magazine.
doesn't really have the hallmarks of a shonen series. You know, like the main character
No,
leveling
but
up, training game,
it
however.
still has the basic like kind of feel of a shonen,
Yeah, but
so it can stick in
later
manga
on, it
the same.
really like takes. Once again, even in the beginning, you don't see a lot of like main character leveling up or getting stronger. These characters are pretty much, they exist, and there's not a lot of filler, so it kind of there's like a full story arc in a way. So it's not like
Yeah.
it. What you would think of
Well, I
like
mean,
a shonen, like say Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or Bleach or something like that. It doesn't have that sort of.
that's really stereotyping shonen
Well,
though.
I know, but
Like,
like what I think of shonen, like my feel of
yeah,
what shonen is, it's not really into that. It sort of does have that. I guess you want to say shonen is just like young adult, young male from a certain age group, and that's all shonen
yeah.
are just that. Then I would
It's a
put that.
battle manga. It's a partly battle manga that's set up for that,
Yeah,
but it's set up to appeal to that age group.
yeah, yeah.
It's more like Zombie Lone or Iotaku or something like that.
Both series are.
Durarara
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Durarara's good. Durarara's a really good comparison actually.
Yeah, it's more like that. If you like Durarara, read this. So,
Yeah.
recommendations. Do you recommend reading this?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I do gotta say though, it does get a little confusing at parts.
Yeah.
And there's a character that straight up lie to you, so it gets really, really. It's
Yeah.
you get conflicting things from
Harrison and I have
characters.
actually ended up in arguments on Skype
Be-
over like when I'm saying something, he's like, "No, that's just wrong." I'm like, "Well, fuck you. A character just said it." So,
I was like, oh wait, that's not true. But yeah,
like, what?
there are several characters that lie. The story is very. There's time travel involved, so it gets very kind of weird in that situation. There are like several chapters that are just pure flashbacks. So it it kind of gets a little bit. There are characters that look. Another problem with the series is that a lot of characters look similar to each other,
Yeah.
which I guess we should talk about the art style. But
Um,
characters kind of some
yeah.
characters look like each other. So there are times when people are speaking where it's like I don't know. At least for me, I have to read. There's several chapters I have to read over to kind of understand exactly who was speaking, what was happening, and what was going on. So it can be kind of
Yeah, we can get into that once I do my recommendations, then actually get into our discussion
right. Sorry
part.
about that.
So, yeah, it's fine. I did that when we were just talking like a minute ago.
No.
So, um, I recommend reading it. Um, I don't think I like it as much as Harrison does, but I do enjoy reading it. Read it if you like sci-fi, kind of horror-y feel like stuff. If you like stuff that's based on Alice in Wonderland, like I know a few people who like stuff just because it's based on Alice in Wonderland, read it because
It's
it's a real fucked version of Alice in Wonderland.
honestly, the story doesn't really like have a lot of like the story, how the story
But the
goes. Doesn't
story doesn't
have
like
a lot of
the characters
analogs.
in the world.
But
they
yeah,
pull
it's just
from
like
it.
that. Well, like there's no analog in story wise between Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah,
which is I was kind
but
of surprised with.
the world they yeah, so was I. But yeah, it's pretty good. Read it. It's I do recommend it. Um, the only thing that would kind of turn you off is, like you said, the art and from some of it, and it is a very confusing series. Like even in spots where the art's perfect and that didn't confuse you, the series was just written confusing. Like
Yeah.
I
And they start to explain
honestly,
things
with the
later
first
on,
like
but
five or six,
it's
yeah,
so late. It gets so even when
I'm
they start to explain things, some things are still like there's one character who's several characters, and they kind of don't really explain how it works that well, and they still haven't really explained how it works that well. So I'm not even sure how that
nice,
works. And it's like a major. There's a
nice.
major character too, so it's there's like I'm at that very end of it. So it's like they don't explain if it's like if the person if they're all the same or somewhat different, but they seem to be different, and it's just kind of I'm not sure how this works.
Yeah. I one thing I wouldn't recommend reading this is if you're the kind of person who gets very annoyed by authors who take hiatuses. Because
But I'm pretty sure the
Pandora
series is about to
Hearts.
end. The series is at like where it is, and I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's at its end. Like they're they've set everything up for it to be over. So that's I'm
Yeah,
pretty
because
sure.
it's had 93 chapters over 6 years, so
Yeah,
that's not that many at all.
yeah, but yeah, it's the story. I'm pretty sure if it doesn't end it with this arc, I would be highly, really surprised because they built this like where everything is built up. All the characters are from the beginning have been built up to this moment. So if it doesn't end here, I'm not sure what they're gonna. I'm not sure I would even
Okay.
want to read afterwards.
All right, but yeah, so it's like I said, it's only 90 something chapters. The chapters are usually around 40 pages long, so you get a decent bit of content. But it's yeah, I'd suggest reading it, and that is past the point where we won't be doing spoilers
Like, huh?
for
Oh
up to
shoot!
chapter 20.
Actually, a volume just came out last month.
Okay, I wonder how long the translation's gonna take.
Oh, I've read it already. I just realized I've read this already. I'm
Oh,
looking at it.
yeah, volume 20,
Yeah, 22.
22.
Yeah.
The hell? Oh wait, for some reason. Oh, okay. On this chapter, or not just chapter, but this on manga here, it jumps from like chapter or volume 12 to 17 to 20
Uh,
because they just put a bunch of volumes together, I guess.
yeah, the American version. I'm not sure when the English version comes out for this. When the
Okay.
official translation is still to be
Yeah.
announced. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Pandora Hearts. Read that shit. It's scanlated, but read that shit.
Yeah. I would
It's
say
pretty good.
since the translations have come out in America, it's been pretty on time. Like the English releases, the Japanese releases, there were a lot of hiatuses, but the English releases have gone pretty steadily.
Yeah. So we got that. So that's the end of the spoiler-free section.
Yeah.
Give you like 5 seconds. I'm gonna count down on my hand until you need to get the fuck out if you don't want to get spoiled.
Spoiler
All
time.
right.
Spoiler time.
So,
Gotta get some music for spoiler time.
yeah, spoiler. Yeah, just we'll record something. Got that hot flow going.
I can make some music.
Yeah, but no, so Alice and Oz together have the most yandere relationship
Yes, they do.
ever.
No, I just realized that was kind of very broken. Uh, Alice is B Rabbit. She's his chain. She's Oz's chain. A chain is sort of like a creature that comes from the abyss that gives you powers. However, they can if you have a chain if you're an unlicensed contractor and you have a chain, you'll die eventually by using it too much. Of course,
Yeah.
there's also some other things about that, but that's after chapter 20. You know what? Can I spoil stuff after chapter 20?
No, we can't spoil stuff after chapter 20.
Oh
Stop
my
reading past
God.
what we tell you to read.
It's my shit, nigga. I choose what we read. I just choose on
No, you don't. You actually weren't even involved in the choosing process of this manga.
I don't
So,
care
like,
that I read it all.
so don't even like start with me, you little bitch.
Motherfucker, I will kill you and the whole damn family.
This next one, you're not reading past the point that we set up.
Yeah, right. You can't stop me.
Seriously, because if you're just gonna do this,
But
anyway. So don't even listen to anything this fuck says. Just listen to me, this podcast. So, yeah, they are the most. Alice being the demonic rabbit.
no,
You know,
the
you can see
bloodstained rabbit.
yandere character coming out. Bloodstained. She's a fucking demon.
That's like the name. That's her name. That's why I call her B Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's I'm just stating her name.
Yeah. So, anyway, the fucking crazy demonic rabbit bitch. You can see
With a
yandere
scythe.
coming out there,
The
right?
scythe.
With a scythe. So you can see that coming out.
But she's not Yandere.
You don't really see it coming from what?
Oz. She's not Yandere at all.
Yeah, for a brief moment, that
No,
got pretty real.
no. I mean, she's not. Alice is not yandere at all.
Well, she was in like at least the first like
That's
5 chapters.
that's not Alice. That didn't actually
God
happen.
damn. Like,
Well, they kind of stayed. Like, remember, she's like, I don't remember this at all. That at all. That actually never. I don't.
first 5 chapters?
Yeah, remember they mentioned they like remember he was like he
Not
says
not the part where she's in her dreams.
no, like when they first meet and he has that dream. Is that what you're talking about?
Not that part either.
Oh, like she's Sundare.
The other
That's what
parts where she
was more
threatens to kill a
Sundare.
whole bunch of people.
I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Sundare.
Tsundere. Just
Yeah,
like
she-
yandere. Why would
No,
the
there's a
dairy
difference
part
between
change?
yandere and Sundare. There's a
Well,
pretty
yeah, but why
marked
would the
difference.
dairy part change is what I'm saying.
She's dairy, not or son or whatever.
Well, no, I'm just saying the pronunciation is what I'm shitting on you for.
I don't give a damn. I'm not Japanese. I am freaking Haitian American.
That's who cares? Like you okay, if I showed you the same ending to 2 words in any language, you should know they're said the same. Like
No, I know how dairy is pronounced. It was just the first part.
son? But you said never mind. Whatever. Anyway,
Yeah,
Fucking-
Oz is very yandere. He gets very, very, very
He's-
yandere. So yandere, it's like
and
uncomfortable.
Oz is just an uncomfortable character in general, though.
Oh, he gets even more uncomfortable
to be
though.
honest.
'Cause
He
he really does.
like he fucking just
He's-
really
he's kind of like
really gets
what was that one manga we were reading? Railgun. The Railgun series, not Railgun.
Are you talking about the Railgun
A
series?
certain magical
Certain
index.
magical index.
He's like that
Yeah.
guy character, except psychotic, except a little bit more
Oh
psychotic.
yeah, that guy just doesn't. He just gives no fucks anyway.
Right here, this guy kind of
He's
like
just like, what up?
he.
He gives no fucks because he's mentally broken.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is mentally. He has a third neighbor like this guy's fucking. You have some real problems, dude. But it gets
Yeah, like in
it gets it
in the
kinda
last
gets-
chapters that we read,
They actually
in like the point.
it's kind of a spoiler.
Will you shut
but-
the fuck
no,
about
no,
what
no.
happens later?
No,
in the
I'm not
manga?
gonna tell you anything about it. It's just they sort of copy the whole how they do things in the Index series with a punch to heal somebody, and it doesn't work at all.
I don't
It's really
remember
funny.
that.
It's like really, it's funny how it fails. It's one of those just like what the fuck. It's
I don't remember that moment in the Certain Magical Index series.
remember
either,
he
though,
always
for some
punches
reason.
people in the face and then they like become his friends because it's stupid.
Oh, I thought you meant literally heal people.
No. I mean, it's like fixes their mental problems or whatever their argument is.
Okay.
Every
Yeah, I
argument
thought you meant like legitimately heal people, like
Oh, wait, bring 'em back from the
Borderlands
dead.
shooting heal people thing.
you get shot and have the guy come out of nowhere punch you in the fucking face. Oh,
I got this. Just let me punch the bullet wound.
well, man, feels good as new.
Worst superhero ever.
It's amazing. New thing. Somebody got to make this. We'll take the checks. Send the checks to www.banana.org.
Send the checks yet. We're gonna get that published in Shonen Weekly. Just a doctor throwing liver blows and shit. Cured. Anyway, God, what were we even talking about that actually had to do with the manga? Oh yeah, Oz is one of the he's so broken, like mentally broken as a character.
In fact, there's a
Like,
lot of characters. who are
But he
mentally
does.
broken.
I do like the comparison between him and the guy from Index because he gives no shits.
Yeah, they're very
the
similar
entire
characters.
movie.
Actually, it's just in Index, it's kind
Except
of in Index, it's kind of like,
in-
oh, it's a good thing he's just that good of a person. In this series, it's
Yeah.
the guy is mentally broken. He has severe
Yeah.
mental issues.
and I mean the whole like
Like, the thing
Oz,
is
where
bad.
really are you thing,
Oh.
where that showed up in the last chapter that we read
That-
that we were supposed to read, Dick. It showed up in the last chapter of that.
Oh yeah, Kevin is all. Oh, I'm sorry, Break. Shit's-
Who?
Break says
Kevin?
that. Break says that. Break.
Oh,
There's no.
okay, yeah.
Kevin.
Break says that to him in
It kind of just fucks with
one
him.
of the fairly early chapters.
Yeah, it really just fucks with him, even though Break was just fucking with him. It had no reason to say that.
Yeah, and it's just like that. It
He,
that really fucked with him.
yeah,
And I mean, it kind of makes sense why it would fuck with him
and
when
that's
you're a person who just like
it,
almost has no real identity and just
and of
is
course
just like so
they explain that even.
scarred.
Of course, it gets even worse later on with his backstory. Like even worse than having like the worst dad of all time. Like
Yeah,
legitimately, he has the worst dad. It's like Gendo.
he
Just
does
like
have.
he's like Gendo Ikari, except a little bit worse. He's actually worse than Gendo Ikari. So,
Yeah,
congrats. His dad is.
yeah, I can see that.
He actually, and when
I
he does
mean,
later,
he just
when he shows up later on, he gets even worse. It's like, come on, man, you're terrible.
it's just like his dad is such a dick.
It's like really,
And
that's probably one of the most like mentally affecting parts of this series.
yeah, it really is. Like he
It's,
I mean, it's one thing, abandon your kid, hate your kid, whatever.
but
Just I like you disgust me.
like that really, like, oh man, it's one of those few series like, man, that's really fucked up. I'm sorry, I have to
And then
like
he
step
locked
back
his servant in a closet
for 3 days.
for like a couple of days. And the only reason the kid got out was because someone came over. Like,
Oh yeah, aren't you like? Did we have a servant here?
yeah, they just locked him in the closet for like 3 days until
Oz broke him out.
no, it wasn't Oz. What was
Was it Oz?
the old guy's name?
Oh yeah, his uncle. My
His uncle. I can't remember what his uncle's name is right
shit. His
now.
uncle. His uncle also doesn't give any. His uncle also has like a sad backstory as well. Oscar.
I love his uncle.
Oscar.
Oscar, yeah.
I think
Oscar's
his
great.
dad name is like Zeal, or it starts with Z.
Whatever. We haven't seen his dad's name yet, so
Oh yeah. Okay. You
It's
might have.
fucking
I
skull.
think they may have just said it once.
this is
so.
why you should only
They
read
probably
to
only
the
said it. I'm
point.
pretty sure they've said it. It's just like he doesn't really show up that often until like later on. So I don't think he would have even remembered.
No, they haven't said it. He's only showed up twice in the manga so far. So
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter honestly that I said his name. It doesn't.
yeah,
The thing is with this series, they don't tell you people's names, but they never even like give you any hint that the name should be important because they never say it. So it doesn't
well,
matter.
none of the names are names you will remember anyway, because the names are things like Kevin and Gilbert
It Oz
and like
Osmond.
Tom from accounting,
Glenn,
Liam,
Jack.
even though that was apparently wrong.
Yeah, that was actually it's Rem. How do you pronounce? I don't. That's it. Let me.
Rim.
It is.
It has to just be Rim. It's REM. Like,
Is it Ram? I want to say like Rame. It is REIM.
oh, it's REIM.
Yeah,
Rhyme, then.
yeah, right. Rhyme Lunettes. That's his name.
Yeah, that's the only character's name that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they spelled it. They got it wrong.
Yeah. And then there's like Alice and stuff like that. Like, okay.
Well, Break's
The
first
only
name is
reason you.
like Cheryl. There's a Cheryl. There's a fucking
Yeah, Cheryl. One
Cheryl.
like a super important character, Cheryl.
like Elliot. Oh, wait, you haven't seen Elliot yet.
Yeah, good job. This is
Well,
why
it
you
doesn't
shouldn't read
matter.
past
It doesn't
the
matter. It doesn't even
point.
matter.
No, every time you fuck up like this, I'm gonna tell you this is why you shouldn't read past the point.
And I'm gonna do it anyways.
I hate you. I really hate you. Like,
All aboard the-
undeniable.
All aboard the hate train. Do, 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 do.
Anyway,
You can't see me dancing, but I was dancing.
I hate you. The only thing with honestly with this this isn't a fault of the manga itself. This is a fault of translations. Some of the translations are fucked. Some of the
Yep.
translations are just bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. Things like the bleeding has stopped bleeding are lines you can get.
Hey man, That's not technically untrue.
The bleeding has stopped bleeding.
That's not.
When was your bleeding ever bleeding?
Well, I mean,
Like,
blood has to have blood to bleed out the bleed hole.
oh, shut the hell up. That doesn't. You know that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that.
Well, I mean, you just did acknowledge it by saying you wouldn't acknowledge it, so I win.
I hate you. Get out. Just leave. I'll do this podcast by myself.
Woohoo!
It'd probably stay more on track if I did it myself.
It'd probably be really.
I'll just set up.
It'd probably be really boring.
I'll just set
though.
up. I'll set up cutouts of myself with different like webcams, and just start doing like projecting my voice.
Most boring thing of all time.
That'd be one of the saddest and most insane things of all time.
You'd be
not as insane as Oz, though.
You're just,
yeah.
And not as much of a bitch as Nozovic. Boom! Shots fired.
It's not even on the same podcast.
No, I'm calling out somebody who's like, I don't even know if y'all know who this man is.
You don't. I can guarantee you don't. And you're never going to know who he is. Unless you watch the non-content podcast over at teamprocreate.com. Or watch me beat him at Hearthstone over at Hazard Place.
You want to do nothing with him at Banana.com.
YouTube.com/Banana. No, it's Banana.com. That's. You need to get that domain locked down.
I should.
Oh, okay. We got really off of manga.
Yeah, we did. So
this I did want to talk about one thing very specifically.
All right.
Besides the fuck translations in it, because the translations are kind of bad in some chapters. Some chapters they're absolutely fine. The typeset they use sucks in a lot of characters. But whatever on that. I kind of want to talk about how almost out of place the comedy is in it.
They do come out of nowhere. Owls biting people in the cheeks.
Yeah, like, and it's just. There's just random moments where, like I was telling you earlier today, where it's Oz and Alice. God, Alice, just like standing off in the corner of a panel, and there's a panel where the Gilbert's like super depressed and like going through some real shit, and it's just her holding a rat, and Oz it's like chibi versions of them, and Oz is just like, no, you can't eat that shit. Like, it's just there for no reason. I feel like it kind of feels like it's there so it can stick in shonen, like shonen whatever GF fantasy, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it was there just so they could stick in GF fantasy for their shonen section.
Could be worse, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. A lot of it is really funny. I don't mind the comedy in it. It really kind of just breaks up, like, how kind of strange it would be without it.
How dark the series is.
Yeah, the series is very dark.
It gets darker.
I honestly
it's going to get darker.
Like,
you know, you see, it gets so dark.
It's just... It wouldn't. I honestly feel like it wouldn't be all that great if comedy wasn't there. It'd just feel like a bunch of dark, bleak bullshit for no reason.
Yeah. It's kind of it actually works really, really. I guess kind of like it's sort of same way as Alice in Wonderland kind of works. The sort of surreal. It makes it really surreal in a way that we have.
Yeah.
These, like, it's just like something really terrible will happen, and then something just like insane that will happen. Like there's something with Break that happened, and it's just like one moment, it's like really just holy effing shit. That was fucked up, and then the next moment is just like okay, something else random else is gonna happen. Of course, everybody they instantly mention like what the fuck is going on here. That was really disturbing, but you know, sort of those it's contrast, and I don't know, I like it.
Or I mean. But another place of it like being out of place, and where I just finished reading in chapter 19, I think it was, was when right after you see Victor. That's his name, right? Victor, Gil's brother.
Vincent.
Vincent. Yeah. When I saw
Vincent's a
Vincent,
dick.
yeah, Vincent's a dick.
He gets
When you
worse.
see Vincent as a child stabbing the eyes of like a body, the next panel is like a joke panel. It's just like it's Gilbert and Jack and the other like while they're talking.
That was a really I kind of didn't like that actually part. I gotta admit that entire part I did not like with Jack and
Gilbert Jack.
Yeah, I didn't actually like that. It was. I didn't really understand what was really happening, and it seemed like a lot of things were just going on at that point, and it didn't really explain it that well. Honestly, in my opinion,
Yeah,
the Cheshire part is honestly, from a storytelling part, is probably the weakest.
it feels really rushed.
Yes, yes.
Like I didn't really know the Cheshire at all. You didn't really like
Yeah,
you didn't really get much about him.
like you find out more
But
about him, but it's like so much later, and then he never shows
you
up.
feel like it should be a big deal. Like when they're talking about going to Cheshires and everything, you're like, oh,
Yeah, no,
this
and
might.
when they show him off later, it's like okay, I understand why this was supposed to be a big deal. But
Yeah, but like
that's not until
it,
like chapter like 35 or 38.
yeah, that's dumb. Like
It just
it
this
feels like they just kind of rushed through that.
that section should not have been where it was. It should have been put later, and they should have explained. They should have had some of the exposition, but had it differently and had them actually going to Cheshire's place later.
Do you know if they've really planned out like the entirety of this, like not just the basic story points they want to hit, but like a lot of this
I had
manga?
assumed it was because of how well everything fits together later on.
I
Overall,
see. I really don't think it is.
see, but once you read it, when you read more of it, you'll understand why I think that and how it works.
Yeah,
Just the
but it's
Cheshire
really
part,
not hard
the-
to link stuff to the past.
no. But I mean, a lot of things work. A lot of things work out really, really well, and they fit perfectly.
All right,
Like
I
you
mean,
have to read more. The
honestly
Cheshire
feel
part.
like
The Cheshire part is honestly the sort
we're
of
talking
like,
up to chapter 20, so
I know
fuck
that's
off.
what I mean. The Cheshire arc is because that's when they start really, I think, explaining the sort of world. A lot of like the main, like maybe okay about this. Maybe they didn't have everything planned out, but I feel like when they started Cheshire Act, this is my period. This is my theory that they had figured out what they wanted to do, and they sort of want to make up for lost time. Because the first, like, say, 10 chapters, 10, 13 chapters don't have a lot with the...
They all feel like they're rushed for serialization.
Yes, the
That's
first...
what it feels
yeah,
like.
the first...
This manga has felt like up to this point.
Here,
That every issue starts off great, and then it feels like it gets rushed for serialization to be put out.
but here's, like, well, to get it going with my theory. I don't think the first part, the first, like, 13 or so chapters was really... I don't know if they didn't have, like, the main plan for the rest of the series out, or maybe they didn't expect to last that long. And once they figured out that they're gonna last a while, that they were gonna be able to have their full what they wanted, that's when the Cheshire Act starts, and that's why so much stuff is rushed because they're trying to make up for lost time. Because after that part, the story goes on a lot more naturally, and they start.
All right.
It's just, I think the Cheshire, even though the Cheshire Act is a good place to stop because it really starts with the whole major story arc. It's still, from a storytelling part, it's the worst part because it's really rushed, and they try to put in a lot of exposition. But it goes on and on a lot
Yeah.
naturally afterwards.
Well, I mean,
Like,
from what you were supposed to have read up to, asshole. Um,
like if you honestly expect me to stop reading, I've read terrible things. I've read terrible things.
but you won't read good manga. That's what pisses me off.
I'm not gonna
You'll
read
read
Hajime no
full
Ippo.
parts of shit manga,
I'm not gonna read
but
Hajime
you
no
won't
Ippo.
read like a bunch of good manga.
Because they're fucking
like,
sport mangas, and I don't read sports mangas. The end.
but you'll read like a full harem, like a 90 chapter harem. That's shit. Like
I just like will not read a sports manga. It's not gonna happen.
that's because you're stupid. That's
No,
because you're a
I
dumb
have
human
standards.
being.
And what harem
No,
have I
you
read
don't.
90
No,
parts?
no, 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 no,
What
no.
harem have I
no.
read that's 90
No,
parts?
you have standards hold on.
I don't even like
We
Arrows.
have read manga
I don't even
for
like
the
Arrows.
podcast. It was complete trash.
Yeah, that's because y'all asked me, and I do it like the last minute.
And then you read the entire manga.
In the last
Like,
minute, because once I start reading something, I'm not gonna stop reading. That's just how I work.
you're stupid. You're dumb. You're
No,
just a dumb
I need to
person.
know. Once I start reading something, it's like at this point, I need to know how it ends. I
You don't even get to know how it ends. Most of these aren't even finished manga.
yeah,
Like,
they're finished in my mind because
that's
I don't give a
completely
fuck.
flawed. That's completely flawed logic.
No, I'm done. We're done with this conversation. So this
Yeah,
has
because
been,
you're in the
no, we're done.
because you
We're done.
lost.
We're done. No, we're not. No, you didn't lose.
You completely lost. That's completely flawed logic.
No, it's not.
You're like, oh, but I need to know how it ends. When it's not ended, you don't ever get to know how it ends.
I need to
You're
know
just
everything.
reading ahead and being a dick.
I need to know everything about what exists. Okay? Goodbye. The end. Win. Harrison wins. Banana wins.
You
Banana
didn't win.
wins.
No, you've
Banana
never
wins.
won
Banana
anything.
wins. Banana wins. Wah,
hate
wah, 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 wah. That's all I'm hearing right now. So, this has been... So, on the end result of a Pandora Hearts, it's a read it. We're telling you to read it. It's really good. It gets really good. Read the entire thing. Don't be like this man over there. I mean, sorry, he's on that side of the screen. Don't be like that.
Oh yeah,
man
don't be
over
no,
there.
don't be the guy that reads up to the part where we said to read for the podcast.
I told you I wasn't
Don't
going
be
to do
that
that.
guy.
I told you straight. And also, no. We were supposed to read this 3 weeks ago. I read up to chapter 20 3 weeks ago. And you're
No,
like,
okay, and we
let's
weren't even
wait.
supposed to go up to 23 weeks ago. So
Okay, no, I thought you said 20, and I read up to 20, and you're like, oh, let's not do it today. Let's just wait. So I'm like, okay, fuck it.
I didn't
bored.
say today. I tried to record that day.
But we didn't.
It didn't
So
happen.
I continue reading on. The end.
Just whatever.
It's like 3 weeks later.
Whatever. Let's just get an actual ending to this podcast.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, this podcast pretty metal. Metal as fuck.
Damn right
as it
metal
says
as
so on
fuck.
my notes. Metal as fuck. The monster design is very interesting.
Not used a lot though. Not used a lot.
No, you really don't see it, especially in the chapters that we've read up to.
Yeah,
For
even
sure
later,
you don't see
even
it.
later on, it's still pretty. They're pretty lenient with them, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I really wanted to see a lot more of it because I thought they were all really interesting when I saw them.
Honestly, there's not a lot of
So-
action in the series. That's like there's action.
Yeah, this is a very non-shonen-y shonen.
Yeah, it's not it's, like even
It's
when they
because
have fight
it's a Square
scenes.
Enix shonen.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's because it's a Square Enix shonen.
No.
Square Enix is what I said.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
I don't count it as. I know it's technically is a shonen, but I don't really count it as shonen.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like
the
shonen.
like I said, least shonen-y shonen. Durarara, pretty much,
I
is
like-
the shonen type of shonen.
Is
this
Durarara
is.
counted as shonen?
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah, it's in monthly G Fantasy.
man. That series does not feel like shonen at all.
No.
But yeah. So this has been oh my god, okay, all right then. So
All right.
this has been.
So let's just get the ratings out. 1 through 10, rate it.
I would put a 8. Well, okay, for chapter 20, I would put like a 7 or a 6.
Yeah, I was feeling the same, a 7. I feel like it's interesting. It's obviously going to get more interesting later, but for right now, it keeps my attention, but I don't think it's great.
Yeah, I counted. But if you go through like the whole series, I would put it at an 8. Maybe a
Okay.
9 if you don't count the Cheshire Act, which is really the worst. It is honestly the worst. I would say the most rushed act. It's really, really rushed. And it's
Yeah, I mean, even reading that didn't feel like it took long. Like, the pages felt shorter for some reason.
yeah.
Like, it had more drawing than writing in it, too.
I gotta say, but once you gotta admit though, the end of the act kind of got kind of crazy.
The end of the act is insanity. The end, up to chapter 20, guys, it's like the end of that is insane.
Yeah. That's when shit really starts going. So this is how this.
If
series
you
goes.
like Dumb Twist the manga,
I wouldn't say it's a dumb twist exactly. It kind of makes sense in a sort of psychotic
There's a
boyfriend sort of way.
I guess there's a whole lot of that just is dumb twist that just works well in the universe though. Like a lot of just the manga.
It gets some really dark places though. It's just some really interesting, really dark twists that are just kind of like, man, that's harsh as fuck.
Nice.
This is like this ain't One Piece, bitch. This ain't
Yeah.
But,
So we got 2 sevens on that. So hosts, don't check Klesk out because
he's a baby bitch.
Klesk.
He's a baby bitch.
He's a baby bitch. No, he's a little baby, but he wasn't here. He might be here for next week's. I don't know.
And next week we'll be reading. What will we be reading next week? Do we have anything?
No. We should probably figure that one.
Hopefully before this video's up, it'll be in the description so y'all can read along with us.
Yeah,
which would be nice.
Yeah, so we'll put that up. Yeah, check me out at Azrael Plays on YouTube.
Check me out at Banana, youtube.com/banana, which I mean,
it's on your channel.
Exactly. I'm just trying to give them a heads up.
All right. Yeah, so if you want to do that, well, even if you don't want to do it, just do it anyway. So
just do it. Do what I say, woman.
Do it.
This chicken is cold.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. We'll have one up next week sometime. Don't know what day. We'll get a real schedule done eventually.
Yes.
Guys, trust us.
Believe in us.
So
believe in me. I definitely do not put up videos when I say I will. Definitely don't do that. Shut up. That will be done. That will be done eventually.
No, it's never going to be. So
that shit was awesome.
So yeah, next week we'll probably have something a little maybe a little bit more lighthearted, I guess. Yeah. Who knows?
We just go full Silent Hill. You just read the Silent Hill manga. Oh God, I can't do that.
Is there Silent Hill manga?
There's comic books.
Well, I mean, is there like a manga?
Probably not.
You can read the Kingdom Hearts manga.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not a bitch.
Guys, I'm pretty sure you are. Guys, Kingdom Hearts manga.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video.
Peace.
Yeah.